Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you all taking the time to be here with us. To start off our presentation, I'd like to take a moment for my presenters and I to introduce ourselves. As shown here, my name is Maybell Caro. I am one of the College Success Fellows here at 10,000 Degrees. My pronouns are she, her, and I previously attended UC Santa Cruz and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Literature.
Hi everyone, welcome in. I'm super excited to be presenting this for you all. My name is Vicky Jha. I am one of the College Success Fellows. My pronouns are she, hers, ella. I am a transfer student, so I went to college in Marin and then I transferred to Sonoma State University where I earned my bachelor's degrees in psychology.
Hi everyone, I'm Marilyn Chang and I'm also a College Success Fellow here at 10,000 Degrees. My pronouns are she, her, and I went to San Jose State and I studied nutritional science. Now I'll pass it back to Maybell.
Thank you so much, Vicki and Marilyn. So just to go over a little bit about what exactly 10,000 Degrees is. 10,000 Degrees, we are one of the leading equity-focused scholarship providers and college success nonprofits here in California. And a little bit about our mission today is that at 10,000 Degrees, we aim to achieve educational equity and to support students from low-income backgrounds to and through college to realize their full potential and positively impact their communities and the world. Aside from our mission, let's go over how exactly and where exactly we are able to create the impact we are doing here at 10,000 Degrees. So at 10,000 Degrees, we support about 8 Bay Area counties, including the state of Utah. We also support 44 high schools throughout the Bay Area, 57 community colleges, and 194 four-year colleges and universities nationwide, with a totaling reaching about 16,000 and more students and families at 10,000 Degrees. At 10,000 Degrees, as mentioned previously, our model to achieve our mission is to support students to, through, and beyond college. And this includes creating college pathway awareness and preparation services, college and financial aid advising and navigation tools and services as well, in addition to scholarships and financial aid management, college success support, community college transfer support, career and graduate school readiness, and when you all reach this point, alumni success.
So learning objectives for this presentation would be, we want to provide information and advice on extracurriculars and building a community on campus. We want to create awareness for all the opportunities that your campus can offer for you. We want to talk about how students can get involved on campus and off campus. And we want to give you the understanding of the benefits of being involved. And at the end, we'll provide a takeaway sheet for you as a resource. And now I'm going to pass it on to Vicky to get us started on how to build your community.
That's great. Thank you, Marilyn. How to build your community. The main goal onto building your community is to create and build your support system on campus as a college student. Now that you're going to be joining college, you also want to be able to know what's available for you. And not only that, be able to navigate your own campus. Also, building your community will help you learn new set of skills, such as time management, being creative, leadership, and many more. Also, building your confidence, meaning that you get to step out of your comfort zone and be more comfortable around yourself and other new peers who's going to be also be in the same similar journey as well. And also a sense of belonging and creating new friendships. But how do I build my community? That's very important. So we're going to start off first by reflecting. So why is reflecting important? So it helps you not only that get to know yourself better and also understand your purposes, your values, what you want to learn. And not only that, it also encourages you to be self-aware of what's going on around your area. And also now that you're young adults, now you're going to be making your own self decisions. So this is a great way to start off. And you get to start off by reflecting by asking yourself these important questions, which is, what are your values, what are your interests, and what do you want to learn? Now that you've reflected, your reflecting is going to come in handy because you're going to see so many events that's going to be hosted on your campus. Not only that, especially during the first 2 weeks of school, there's going to be a lot of events such as Welcome Week, Rush Week, Career Fair, workshops, Club Fair, and you're going to ask yourself, wow, that's a lot. This is stressful. This is overwhelming. Which one do I pick? I want to pick the lot. I want to do this. I want to do that. And this is where your self-reflection comes. You're going to have to go step out of your comfort zone, ask questions. It's okay. No wrong questions are there. So you're going to ask yourselves and ask them, what are your values? What is the time commitment? What are the requirements? What is the eligibility? From there, you're going to be making your decisions and see if any of the clubs, any events, any workshop fits on your schedule, because now you're obviously going to start getting busy with classes, homework, other work, or other home responsibilities you may have. Not only that, please utilize your counselor. There's going to be so many events, clubs, or learning community that's available on campus that may be different from your school, from a friend who is attending a different school. For example, San Francisco State University, their welcome week, it's actually called Gators Week. So it may be different from your friend who's attending UC Davis. Another one too is always Google search what clubs and programs your school offers. Again, like I would previously mention, each school has different programs, different clubs, learning communities, affinity groups by different names and different eligibility. And if it's something that interests you, please reach out to your counselor. Your counselor can definitely help you out shutting down the research from you. Pass it on to Mabel.
Thank you so much, Vicky. And yes, let's talk about clubs on your college campuses. So before diving in on what exactly clubs on campus may look like for you, let's talk about why campus involvement may be important. So extracurricular involvement can be valuable to many students because it allows students to find the right community of students that they connect with. It allows you all the opportunity to expand your social networks and circles, also to gain proper experiences towards your goals of interest and perhaps even discover new ones. And this can also include professional alignment and networking and discovering what exactly after college you would like to pursue professionally. And lastly, offering the opportunity to grow and have this time in your life to self-explore and to more specifically learn what aspects of certain environments you like or dislike. So prior to hopefully experiencing all the great benefits that clubs on campus can provide to you if you choose to get involved, it's important to find the right fit. So let's talk about how we can identify what is the best fit for you. I first want to acknowledge that there are so many different types of clubs on campus. I know when I was starting out as a freshman, I was often overwhelmed by my Google searches and even just talking to my peers. So hopefully in this brief breakdown, you will understand just what the brief categories will look like on most college campuses. I also want to acknowledge that each type of club has a different mission for how they aim to contribute to their campus community as well. So more specifically, let's delve into the types of clubs we can navigate together. So firstly, there are cultural clubs on campus that aim to build connections with your peers based on perhaps a shared cultural interest, and also to allow allies of these community groups to show support towards a specific community on campus. Secondly, we have academic clubs that aim to support peers through their academic successes by collaborating and sharing resources as well. And lastly, we have more professionally based clubs that allow students the chance to gain that experience, to aim to hopefully allow them to build those transferable skills to achieve the goal of hopefully transitioning into the workforce smoothly. Next, let's talk about how we can prepare for navigating through these types. So again, Another disclaimer, it's okay to change your mind as you navigate through these different types of campus clubs. Considering that your campus may have a number of different clubs to choose from, there may be those opportunities where you find yourself thinking that, hey, maybe this club isn't for me and it's time to make a shift and choose another one. So feel empowered to just take that initiative to self-explore and make those choices for yourself. But hopefully, as you may find a club that is best fit for you, it's okay to also consider taking on a particular leadership position within that specific club to gain those skills and hopefully contribute positively to your campus community. And lastly, it may also be helpful to chat with your peers about their personal experiences in a club. I know for me in particular, I found it really helpful to talk to people in the club that were older than me, to provide their shared experiences and to guide me as I was getting more involved. And I will pass it back to Vicky for our affinity groups.
Perfect, thank you. So I saw on the poll, we only had 1% that was excited to learn about affinity groups. And that's okay, maybe you don't know what affinity groups, so we're gonna go over that on the next slide. So what is affinity groups and how is it different from what you're gonna learn throughout this presentation? Affinity groups are individuals who want to meet with those who share a common identity or interest. For example, you may know them as Greek life, which is, in other words, fraternity sororities, hobbies such as hiking, hockey, soccer, or any arts and crafts such as drama clubs. To learn more affinity groups, what's available on your campus, please do your research or reach out to your counselor to see what's available. Not only that, you can also create your own affinity group. Also, you may know it as creating your own club. Do reach out to your student services or your club's program to see what requirements you may be needed or to see if you need like a professor to sponsor you. Please reach out to your counselor. There are also another resource that you can utilize on campus. Some of the most common affinity groups is Greek life, which luckily today we're going to have two students currently attending San Francisco State who's going to be talking a little bit of their personal experience about being in Greek life and also how they were able to build your community. Another one is also culture, ethnic population, specifically specific interests. It could also be a Chicanx club. It can also be first generation. Another one can be professional and workforce development, and it can be career success. It can also be specifically majors such as psychology, business, criminal majors. Usually, a lot of the professional workforce development professors do participate, or they encourage you to join the clubs. Another one is also arts and entertainment, such as broadcasting, journalism, other things that's available on your campus. Do keep an eye out on all of them. They're amazing to join. Not only that, you're building connections as well.
So Greek life. What is Greek life? Greek life is a value-based organization, also known as fraternities and sororities, that are in campuses, universities, and colleges. So they provide social and leadership skills while providing academic and philanthropic support. So the main reason why many people join Greek life is to make new friends and network professionally. There are two main different types, the academic one and the social one. So for the academic fraternities and sororities, they focus on academic pursuits. So they can be co-eded and they limit to memberships in a specific major or career interest, while the social one is open to anyone regardless of background and major. So if you're interested in Greek life, we highly recommend you do your research. If you're interested, look them up on their school website or on their social medias. Make sure if their values align with yours, the cost, the GPA requirement, and time commitment. A note would be for the cost, it will be out of pocket, so no financial aid would cover this. And if you're interested, always attend events, say hello, introduce yourself. If you're feeling a little shy, bring someone with you if needed. And then for recruitment season, which is also known as rushing, they also recruitment season can be in specific times of the year, so know when it's happening. Like I said mentioned earlier, look them up on their website or their social media accounts. And if you're interested in the fall semester, sometimes they start rushing before school starts. And now I'm going to pass it back to Vicky to talk about learning communities.
Perfect, thank you. This is actually my favorite. Learning communities. What is a learning community? You're learning so much so far on this presentation, so bear with us. Take a moment to do a little stretch. Don't forget to sign in. The sign-in sheet is on, well, the link is going to be in the chat. So what is a learning community? A learning community is a small cohort of students who share common academic goals and work collaboratively in the classroom. Now, the learning communities, they have different eligibility and requirements. Also, it depends on the income eligibility, and sometimes you do have to get referral from a counselor in order to join a learning community. For example, for me, College of Marin, I was a part of EOP and also other programs at a community college, and I wanted to continue doing that when I transferred to Sonoma State University. And one of my biggest one is that I am not the greatest at writing skills, so I obviously wanted to find something that was able to help me with my writing skills, especially because I'm a psych major. So I actually mentioned it to my counselor at College of Marin, and they actually connected me with Sonoma State's EOP office. I applied, I got in, I met with my counselor, and she actually referred me to Trio, who had one-on-one writing labs for me to have. And I did had to get referred because it was limited spaces, and it was also based by. I was so lucky to get in and thankful for my counselor that I was able to meet on time before the spots got filled up. And not only that, learning communities also offers many benefits, and please take advantage of them if you're eligible and you're able to join them, because there is first priority registration. As you may know, a lot of you all are already attending, and there's not a lot of spaces already when you're registering for classes, and you actually got left with whatever's available, right? Or you didn't get the professor you wanted to get or the class. So please reach out, see what's available on your campus, see if you're eligible for it. There's also, like how I mentioned, one-on-one tutoring. It can also be for math, even a specific class subject. And there's also academic counseling where sometimes, it's very busy trying to make an appointment to meet with a counselor. So sometimes your learning communities have specific counselors that you can take advantage of them. Ask them questions. Please get involved and take advantage what's available for you, because at the end of the day, these are the things you are paying through your tuition. So take advantage of them. They're free resources. Most of the common learning communities, and you're going to see this on your campus, is EOP. Also, EOP can go by different names. It can go by EOPS, EOPP, and there's also Trio, like how I mentioned, but sometimes it can go blank, like with the straight common name, which is Student Support Services. And there's also the transfer center. Not all campuses have a transfer center, but if your campus does have a transfer center in your community college who is going to be transferring, take advantage of them, because sometimes they also have perks, workshops, scholarships. And there's also the Dream Center. The Dream Center is usually to help undocumented students. However, there are some other campuses that do offer students to join to see how they can participate or how to support undocumented students in many different ways, such as like workshops when they host or any other research opportunities they have. But take advantage of all of them, please.
Now let's talk about student unions and campus jobs. So a student union, what is a student union? A student union is a hub with activities, support, and community for students. This is usually in a building on campus, around the middle of campus. There's many benefits of a student union. This is actually a place that I was always going to whenever I had like in between time for my classes. So it's a place to socialize and meet up, or even chill in between your classes to study. They have service centers available at student unions for assistance if you have any questions or concerns, and then they can always guide you to wherever you need help with. They also host free events. This can be from clubs. This could be also from your school. My school had guest speakers a lot of the times, like from actors and actresses that came and spoke. And then a lot of campuses also have game rooms or a lounge. So for San Jose State, we're known for like having our bowling alley in the downstairs of our student union. And then also we would have a pool, a pool table room in the student union. And then there's also the food court and a bookstore in the student union usually. So next up, on and off campus jobs. So what's the difference? So on campus jobs, they're affiliated with your school, and then off campus jobs, they're not affiliated with your school. And these are the ones that could be anything like retail around campus or not around campus. So the main one we want to focus on today would be on work study. So work study is a program that provides financial assistance through student employment. You apply through your financial aid to find out your eligibility. But then you'll also need to check in with your financial aid office to see if you're eligible for work study. A note is that work study is prioritized for on-campus jobs, but not all on-campus jobs are work study. And some pros and cons about on-campus jobs is that they do work around your school schedule since they know you are a student. But the thing is that they also limit the amount of hours you can work. And when it comes to off-campus jobs, they don't limit the amount of hours usually, but then you have to work around their schedule. So a note for if you're looking for a job during your college journey, you can look at the Career Center on campus and also on Handshake that's connected with your school. So how does this build your community? So on and off campus employment can allow students to network. You get to know your local and campus communities. You're able to strengthen your professional skill set and application materials like your resume and cover letters. And now I'm going to pass it over to Mabel to introduce our panelists.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. So we will now transition into our student panel, which we're so excited for. We're really happy to include both Citlali and Eduardo to our presentation today. And firstly, we have Citlali Castro, who is a SRJC transfer student and a student at San Francisco State University, double majoring in general business and business management. And we also have Eduardo Munoz, who is also a SRJC transfer student attending San Francisco State University as a computer science major. And for this student panel, we will have Vicky and I asking our panelists questions. But before we delve in, is there anything that you, Citlali, and Eduardo would like to add today before we begin?
I think I'm okay.
I'm okay as well.
Awesome. So for our first question for today is, what motivated you to get involved with your campus community?
So for me, something that motivated me was trying to find my community when I was on campus. As a transfer student, it gives you a different experience because when you go straight to a 4 year and you live on the dorms, you tend to find your community a little bit easier when you're like rooming with people and being on campus all the time. But for me, because I transferred, it felt a little bit lonelier. So I really wanted to find friends to hang out with and find people that I can just text after class and be like, hey, can we go get coffee? Hey, I need a study session buddy. Hey, I need help with XYZ for this assignment. And I really just wanted to expand my community within myself and meet new people.
I'm on par with Salali. I started college in 2019, right before the pandemic started, so I only had a semester on campus, and after that, it had been just full online, full like by myself. So when I transferred to SF State, it really motivated me to find like a group I could really hang out with because I didn't really make any friends like the last couple of years. So it really motivated me to like kind of just go out, put myself out there and see what was out there, you know. And it paid off. It worked pretty well.
Thank you for sharing. The next question is, what are 3 ways students can get started with on-campus involvement?
So, 3 ways that I found really helped me. One is walk around campus. At least at SF State, there's so many tabling events. That's what we like to call them when there's like clubs out and just tabling. Definitely looking at flyers that they post in the student union, and just seeing what all the campus has to offer because 9 times out of 10, there's so much campus life that I did not know about my first 2 semesters going to SF State because I was mainly online. And it was really interesting to see how much the school had to offer once I actually started participating, going to these tabling events, talking to people. Also looking up at Instagram pages. If you're a social media person or you're on Instagram, I highly recommend just search up whatever school you're going to and look up the clubs that they have to offer. A lot of the times you'll learn a lot from what the school has to offer from the Instagram pages.
I'm on par as well as Salali. Kind of, I guess the things I would say is kind of put yourself out there, be approachable because people will approach you. I've been approached by a lot of people just, you know, just walking around campus and they always talk about something with you. And then kind of exploring, like Salali said, just go out there and explore because if you don't explore, you're not going to find the things you want, you know. And exploring did help me a lot too. So exploring is definitely a good one.
Thank you so much both for sharing. I definitely second utilizing social media. Nowadays, campuses widely utilize social media for their campus involvement and clubs. So don't be afraid to reach out to those individuals. And it definitely also gives a great first impression before attending meetings. Our third question for today is, what are 2 things you wish you knew before getting involved?
So I'm a part of Lambda Theta Nu Sorority Incorporated. We're a Latin-based sorority. And something that I wish that I knew before getting involved, especially because I feel like in social media and movies, it's very glorified to be a certain way. Um, I wish I knew how much work and seriousness it is to be in the Greek life that I chose. As mentioned before, there's 2 different kinds. Mine's actually an academic sorority. We're a Latin-based sorority, and we focus on academics and community service and sisterhood. Those are our 3 pillars. And understanding how much time and commitment it really takes to be in a club or Greek life because I think a lot of the times we just think it's like parties and like, you just have friends. But in my case, we do a lot of community service, we do a lot of study hours, a lot of volunteering, and understanding that it's basically like having either a second job or having another class that you're taking. It really takes a big commitment, at least for my organization, and doing a lot of research beforehand because I'm grateful I did research, but I highly recommend do research because not every organization is the same.
Yeah, I would say the same thing about that as well. I'm part of a fraternity. I'm part of Zeta Chi Epsilon. And honestly, when I first kind of went to campus and kind of was just kind of getting involved, I didn't really know what it took to like join one. But once the process kind of started happening, it was a huge chunk of my time gone. Like it was either doing it or not doing it. And if I was gonna do it, I was gonna be a part of it. And then if I wasn't gonna do it, I wasn't gonna be a part of it. Um, God, there was some like really stressful days just because I had homework to do, I had tests to take, I had to study, but at the same time, I had like these priorities I had to go do as well. When if I didn't do them, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't gonna do what I was supposed to do. But I mean, at least for me, it was a good thing because I kind of noticed that, well, I was under stress. I did well. So I learned something new about myself as well during those times. Um, but again, like she said, like it's just once you join like these fraternities, sororities, whatever it may be, like it's just a huge chunk of your time gone. Like you're gonna be doing what they're supposed to be doing. My fraternity was a multicultural fraternity, so just there's a lot of us just from mixed races, and it's pretty cool. But apart from that, like it's just the time commitment involved with these things is a huge chunk of your time. Like I can't say anything else, but a huge chunk of your time will be gone for sure.
Thank you for sharing, Sequel and Eduardo. And if any of you all here, please ask questions. You can also private chat Sam in case if you have any other questions you may have. One question I have for you both is, how would you describe the differences between your experiencing getting involved in community college versus at a current for-year institution?
Ooh, my experience was very different. I transferred to SRJC from Sac State, and it was very, very different. I feel like for me at Santa Rosa Junior College, everybody just was go, go, go. You do not get involved with anything. They don't really like, I didn't really see any clubs. Um, I never really got involved. I simply just went to campus, went to my classes, went home, went to work, and that was it. I didn't really meet people. But once I transferred to SF State, it was a lot of tabling, a lot of people out. So many people are so friendly, and like it was kind of a slap in the face of like happiness because it was so different. I was so used to people just like walking like this when I was at SRJC. They were just minding their business. They did not want anything to jeopardize what they were doing, which is fair. But at SF State, there's so much community. And that is actually how I met my sorority. One day I got out of class, I decided, let me walk through the tables. And my sister, now sister, um, walked up to me and said hi and gave me a rose. And she was like, hi, like, have you ever thought about joining a sorority? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is so different from what I'm used to. So it is a big difference, at least for me, because of the community that I was in.
as far as for me, I can't really say much for my community college time because I was only there for a semester, and after that, it was kind of just online. But I guess my first semester there, it was okay. Like I would talk to people, I would go to the tables, whatever they had going on, try to make new friends, which I did. But I ended up losing those connections just because COVID happened. We couldn't really hang out and stuff like that. But I mean, it was a cool experience for me, I guess, at the community college level. But once I got to SF State, it was a whole different beast for sure. People just started approaching you left and right, asking oh, we should join this fraternity, blah blah blah, join this club. It was pretty cool. It was a cool experience being approached and like learning about all these new clubs. That's actually how I met my fraternity. They approached me because I had denied a bunch of them, and then there's this one dude that stood out to me, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. But yeah.
It's great to hear both your experiences of just choosing to step out of your comfort zone, and now you're a part of communities that have made a profound impact on you academically, and it sounds like personally as well. So thank you so much for sharing. Considering everything that you've mentioned so far, looking back and reflecting on your experience, what has been your favorite part about getting involved?
There's so many things that I loved since getting involved. One that is probably something that means like a lot to me is, like I mentioned before, we're very community service based, and we actually outdid our entire national chapter. Our chapter did the most community service hours out of our entire school and out of the entire nation. And that was something that I took so much pride in because I realized how much I did for my community, how much time that I took volunteering at homeless shelters, volunteering at soup kitchens, taking donuts to the firefighters and police officers. And that's something that I'm so grateful for because I was able to make a change. And another thing that I will forever be grateful for is my sisters. They mean the absolute world to me. I have found my family, honestly. Like they're what we like to call home away from home. And they are always there for me. I can imagine them like 50 years from now, like us old, like with our grandkids. And I was actually like with which is my big sister, yesterday, and they're spending my birthday next week with me. And I could have never imagined that maybe like 2, 3 years ago. I could have never imagined having so much community in in the back of my hand. Like, I am so grateful for them. They have brought me the biggest happiness and also the biggest opportunities and growth for me, and I don't think I could ever change that.
Would you mind honestly the memories that I made throughout the process and then just being in the fraternity? Throughout the process, they would make us, go to the homeless shelters, go help out, whether it be, with the soup kitchen or whatever, they would make us go make sandwiches, hand them out, get some water as well. Just honestly, just doing good deeds, and it felt good doing it too. And I'll always cherish those memories because they were really fun memories. Like I will never forget them, And also the memories I made during the process, like I'll always just kind of be sitting in my car driving, just thinking about the stuff I did. Because at the time, it's kind of like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. But now it's just kind of like, it was a cool memory. Like I'll always think about it and always have this experience that no one else may have. And honestly, just meeting new people as well. Like I have these brothers now that I can kind of rely on a little bit, or I shouldn't say a little bit, a lot. They're always there. Like I can contact them, call them, whatever it may be. And I know they'll be there for me whenever I need it. So it's cool. Like I just overall the memories that I made with them, the people I met, and the connections I made too, because a lot of my brothers are software developers and I'm a computer science major, so I know I have those connections as well. So I know I can rely on them. I know I can rely on them. And honestly, I don't know. It's been a cool experience so far. So not a can't say anything bad about it.
For sure. I know both of you all previously have mentioned that joining this sorority or fraternity took up a lot of your time. My question for you is, what are some tips on finding balance between your academics and the spaces on your campus you got involved in?
Ooh, just FYI, my cat's gonna be probably popping in, just so you guys know. But some tips that are very, very, very helpful is time management. Like we said, it is very time consuming. It can take up a lot of your time. It's like taking another class, but giving yourself a schedule is probably one of the most important things, because this is something that if you choose to be involved in, there's a lot of things that you have to get done. There's chapter meetings, there's community service. For mine, we have mandatory study hours, which I'm super grateful for because I tend not to do that. And giving myself a schedule properly throughout the week and sharing, actually I share my calendar with my sorority and we all see like the gaps that we have and we figure out, okay, we have time to do this on this day, um, is super helpful. And the other thing that I highly recommend is communicate. If you choose to be involved with either Greek life or a club, communicate with them your schedule, especially if you work. I go full time to SF State, and I am a part of a sorority, and I also do work full part time. So it's kind of a lot on my plate. But communicating with every aspect of my life has really helped me a lot because you never know, a lot of the times these things in your life like your sorority or your work or your personal life, they'll be a lot more flexible, if you just speak up and just say, hey, I'm really busy from these days, this is the only time available, and a lot of the times people are willing to work with you. It's just you really need to speak up. That's something that I wish I did a little bit better, because it did cost me a lot of issues, because I did not speak up properly about my schedule.
Yeah, I would say time management as well. Like throughout the process, even after the process, once you join the fraternity sorority, maybe there's going to be this huge chunk of time where you kind of just like have to figure out what you're going to do because sometimes you'll have stuff to do in the morning, maybe afternoon, and then you have to do this other thing you have to do for the fraternity sorority, and this whole ball of mess. Luckily for me, I never really managed my or had to manage my time because I knew what I had to do. It was either I did it or I was never going to do it. So I forcefully kind of just did everything. But I'm honestly having a I think I would have been doing a lot better if I had the time management, kind of setting my time setup. But as far as that, I mean, again, just time management, because again, like it's just a crazy huge amount of time that you're gonna have to commit to it. And if you don't, do it right, you're probably gonna fall behind your grades, whatever it may be. So
Thank you both for sharing. And yes, in this situation, perhaps school calendar may be your best friend. So thank you so much for sharing. And to all the students we have here, time management takes time, no pun intended, to build as a skill. So don't be too hard on yourself as you navigate through that as well. And speaking of challenges, I'm curious to ask, what challenges did you face when trying to get involved on campus, and what did you learn from them?
So for me, one of the major challenges is I'm actually a commuter. I do not live in the city. I actually don't even live on campus. I live in Marin County, so I actually have to commute to every single thing. That's probably one of the biggest challenges that I had. If you choose to live on campus or choose to live in close proximity of your campus, it'll be a lot easier for you. You may not have to deal with what I had to deal with. Um, but that is something that I really had to take in consideration because for me, I had to drive maybe 30, 40 minutes. Um, and in total, like an hour and a half to and back. Um, so that is a lot of time. And that is something that I really needed to realize like if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this 100% because there is a lot of things I had to meet on campus for. There are a lot of things I had to meet in person for. And that is something that I really needed to understand. The other thing I had to understand is doing an educational process. It has not been mentioned, but an educational process is basically in multicultural Latin, D9, and Asian fraternities and sororities. There's something called an educational process. And it's basically everything you're going to learn about the sorority or fraternity. This varies from sorority and fraternity. This is a lot of the times top secret. So we don't know what each organization is about. And it does take a lot of like time. And that is something that I never knew about. Um, sorry. So it is something that was a big challenge for me because it was very different. It was very out of left field. I've never done an educational process, so it was a little scary because you don't know what you're going through. Like it's kind of a surprise, and it varies from organization to organization. So that and commuting was really hard for me. It really took a lot of time and stress on me. I had my ups, I had my downs, but in the end, I can say like it was so worth it. Like I laugh about it now, but it was so worth it.
Yeah, at least for my fraternity, we just call it a straight up process. That was a huge chunk of time gone as well. I keep saying chunk of time because it was a huge chunk of time, but it was just I shouldn't. It was a challenging time, I would say, because it was a good chunk of time as well. Again, now I just laugh about it because at the time it wasn't funny, but now when I think back on it, I'll just be sitting in my car laughing about it. But it was that major challenge for me was kind of just getting through the process. It wasn't a difficult process or anything, but it was challenging. God, how do I? Yeah, it was just a challenging process, and having to get through with it. God, you learn to rely on other people. I will say that for sure. No matter what no matter where you are, you're gonna learn to rely on people, and it taught me to learn how to rely on people really good. Um, so yeah, and I mean it helped me open up speak my mind as well sometimes too, because there was some stuff that I just didn't want to do, and I had to speak up my mind. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. In summary, what are the benefits for getting involved on campus?
There are so many benefits to getting involved. One is, and probably the most important one, you get out of your comfort zone. You meet amazing people that you probably never thought that you'd meet on a daily basis. And that will help you so much post graduation because allowing yourself to get out of your comfort zone, introduce yourself to people that you would not normally introduce yourself to, and talk to people that you would have never met is probably the best thing. And also experiencing it I have grown so much professionally and also personally because of my organization. And I don't think I'd be in the place that I am today um, without them. The part of the reason why I'm actually double majoring is because of them. And my sisters pushed me to do that. I'm also because of them now motivated to get my master's because of them. That's something I never thought I would do. And also having the professional connections that I have now because of it is so eye-opening because in all honesty, I think if I wouldn't have joined, I wouldn't have met these amazing people. I wouldn't have grown professionally and emotionally within myself. And I wouldn't have pushed myself to a point that I'm proud of today. I'm so proud of who I've become. They've brought out probably the best in me. And the fact that I'm able to help my community grow and also help my little grow is probably the best thing. I highly recommend getting involved. You never know who you might meet. Even if you don't get involved, you will still meet amazing people. I have grown my community tenfold because of it, just because I started talking to people I wouldn't normally talk to.
Yeah, definitely going through the process even after it taught me a lot. One thing for sure, I was before I even joined the fraternity and whatnot, I was a very shy person. But as the process went on, they would have us go like approach people, ask them questions, interview them a little bit, and I kind of was out of my comfort zone because I would never do that, normally. But throughout the process, they would kind of push my boundaries a little bit and show me that I could do things that I never thought I'd be able to do. And it really surprised me because I was just like, wow, I could do these things if I really kind of just push myself a little bit. And it kind of taught me to push myself. And now I'm kind of doing things that don't usually would, I don't, things that I usually would have never thought of doing. And I'm kind of thankful for that because again, it really taught me to push my boundaries and kind of just do things, you know, see if I like it. If I don't like it, I don't have to do it anymore. But again, approaching people really helped me. Um, I I feel like I can approach anyone now, and I feel like that also helps with connecting people as well. Like you can meet new connections that way. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm really the one thing I would say is just approaching people really helped me a little bit. Kind of got me out of my comfort zone, and it kind of led to more things, and it kind of led to better things as well. So I mean, to each their own, right? But for me, it was definitely that.
Thank you so much, Seklali and Eduardo, for sharing your experience. That was the last questions. Remember all, if you have any questions, put them in the chat or privately chat Sam. Again, these are San Francisco State University students, so say hi to them if you see them on campus. Most likely they'll be the ones also reaching out to you during your Gator Week if you're attending San Francisco State University.
Thank you so much to our student panelists. And now we're going to go into our takeaway tool. So our takeaway tool, we want you to get involved. There's always something for everyone. If you have the opportunity, if not, you always have the opportunity to create your own organization, club, or community, and to be open to trial and error because not every club will be for you, and that is okay. And to just experience new opportunities, branch out. You'll be able to learn more about yourself and make lifelong friendships and expand your professional and personal network. And now we're going to open it up to more questions. And if you haven't signed in, please sign in. And the QR code will be on the screen. And please put down any questions you may have into the chat and we'll answer them.
So to close out our presentation, I just want to say once again, thank you all for taking time out of your day to be here. To reiterate our mission for 10,000 Degrees, we envision a world where all students, regardless of race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic backgrounds, will have the full range of educational opportunities, support, and resources to realize their full potential. And to continue on with our Transition to College series, on our last slide of this presentation, we have listed here the remaining workshops that you all will be attending, which include career advice for recent high school graduates, which will happen on July 15th. Additionally, we also have an All About ESL workshop on July 30th. And lastly, we will hold a personal finance workshop on August 1st. So we really appreciate your time here again today, listening to us talk about how to build your communities on campus. And we look forward to seeing you all in our future workshops for these Transition to College series. And thank you again to our panelists, Citlali and Eduardo, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and your expertise in sharing your experiences. And if any student has any lingering questions, feel free to stick around and we'll try our best to answer. But for our presentation today, we have concluded. So we hope all of you have a great rest of your day.